This is a part 3 of web authoring. As I promised you last time, I will be treating the whole paper of web authoring, the whole question of web authoring. There are 3 different past year questions I'm going to consider in this video. I believe at the end of this video, you will be able to answer any question related to web authoring. Make sure you watch this video from the beginning to the end. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel so that you can get notification whenever I upload a new video. All right, let's get started. The first question I'm going to consider here, of course, is the latest one, which is May-June 2020. May-June 2020. Some of you might be asking, teacher, how do I download the past year question? Actually, to download the past year question, there are many websites available for that. You can visit my website as well as ictmadeeasy.com. So to download the past year question, even though I have very limited past year question here, but anytime soon I'm going to upload as many questions as possible. But for the meantime, you can visit this website, IGCSE Center. Okay, this website, the first one. All right, so when you click here, then you will see they have a lot of past year questions. Just come to library, then you will see the IGCSE question here. Then afterwards, you can choose which subject you want. Of course, we are doing ICT now, so you can just easily go to ICT and you can, where is it? Information and Communication Technology. Oh, sorry, I think I clicked on the wrong one. This one, 0417. Then you can see as many past year questions as possible. All the source file and everything is there. And Papa Cambridge is also there, so you can just visit it anytime to download whatever past year question you want. Now, let's get started now. So the question I showed you earlier, that we are starting from this, May-June 2020. Now, this question says you have been supplied with the following source files, or this one. So now, what do you need to do? The first task one is the evidence document. So create a new word process document. So then let's open Microsoft Word. Okay, so this is a new one. Then afterwards, the question says, make sure your name, center number, and candidate number must be appeared on every page. Since the question says on every page of this document, it means you have to do it, you have to put your name, center number, and candidate number in the header. So just double click, or if you don't want to do that, you can just click on insert. So then you will see header and footer. You will see header here. All right, you see header here, and you can choose whatever option you want from this. But another alternative of doing that is just to double click here. Then you can write your name. Let's say, so Mr. Sharif. Then your center number, whatever the center number is. Then comma, then your candidate number, whatever your candidate number is. So as you can see here, so this is going to appear on every single page. Now, the next thing they want us to do, just click anywhere, then this one will disappear. Now, the next thing they want us to do is then save this evidence document in your work area as this. You need to save it as this. Then followed by your candidate number. So for example, you follow this example. All right, now the Word file we just created now, let me just save it. Save as. Then I can, in my own case, I think I'm going to save it in the desktop. Then I have this, let me just say samples. So sample 1, let me just call it sample 1. So then I'm going to save it as this, followed by my candidate number. Let's say the candidate number is 132. Then I'm saving it as Word document. This is how to do your evidence file. Now, so the next one says you will need your evidence document during the examination. So to place all the screenshots there. Actually, this is very important. You need to make sure you have your evidence file ready. This is very, very important. because if you don't have your evidence file and you never put any screenshot in your evidence file, there is no way how examiner wants to give you mark. No way. Examiner will actually refer back to your evidence file to make sure you have done exactly what they want you to do. It's very, very important. Don't play with your evidence file, and make sure you do all the screenshots they ask you to do. Now, let's start. Task 2 now, web page. So you are going to create a web page and edit a style sheet for Tawara gaming computer. The web page and style sheet must work in any browser. All color code must be in hexadecimal. Make sure that your style sheet contains no HTML. Now, the first thing we need to do is create a new folder called TGC. Create a new folder called TGC. Now, let me go back to my desktop, and I think I'm using this folder. Let me just create a new folder here. All right, then I'm going to call it TGC. That's the first thing. Then after that, locate the following files and store them in your new folder. How many files? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All these files, we need to put them in that folder. Now, let me look for those files. I downloaded them earlier, by the way, as I told you. So I'm using this source file, this one. These are the source file, all these 6. So just copy everything. I'm going to use the rest of it, by the way. So I will just need to copy everything. Try to put it, where's that? Sample 1, TGC, and I put everything here. But for your information, it's a good thing to follow the instruction exactly what they want you to do in the question. So all this one is 2, 3. Let me just try to reduce the size. So 2030 BG is there. Then this one, I don't need it for now. Let me just delete it. Then this one, I don't need it for now as well. Let me just delete it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, these are the 6 files I'm going to use according to the question. Now, the question says display the contents of your TGC folder showing the folder name. Look at what they are asking you to do. You need to show the folder name, showing the folder name, then all file names, extensions, image dimension, and file size. 5 different things, and that's 1 mark. You need to do that. How do you do that? Actually, this date modify, and this is the type of the file, and this is the size, but it never shows, and it shows the name of the file as well, but that it doesn't show the dimension. If it wanted to show the dimension before you do the screenshot, you need to click on view here, and you can click on content. You click on content, you see this every single thing they want you to do. The name, so this is the folder name, TGC, and this is the name of the file. Then the type of the file, right, and this is the dimension, and this is the size. So now you can just look at your keyboard, and you will see print screen on your keyboard. You can just screenshot of this, and let's see the question says take a screenshot of your TGC folder and place this in your evidence file. Place it in your evidence file. So this is the evidence file we created earlier. We call it evidence 1. So let's put it here. Just copy paste, but I don't need every single thing. You can just click on format, but don't waste so much time on this, and you can crop it only to show exactly what they want you to do, because it's not even clear like this. All right, then you can now make this one bigger. You see, you can now make it bigger, so to show this is the name of the folder, TGC, and the name of the file as I told you earlier. Now let's continue. We finished task 1 already, and that's 1 mark. Now create a web page called tgc.htm. We need to create this. Now, what software are we going to use for this? Of course, they never tell you the software you are going to use, but you have to know that automatically. The software you are using here is Microsoft Expression. If you don't have it, try to download it. It's very, very available online. Just type Microsoft Expression. Okay. This is the software we are going to use, and the question is asking us to do what? Create a web page called tgc.htm. tgc.htm. This is still opening. Okay. All right. Now, this is it. In fact, automatically, it's actually open a page for you. So you can just save this one. Just save it. Save as. Then I'm going to save it in the same place. You know, that's your work area because you are going to submit it later. Don't forget, you are going to submit it later. The folder. You are going to submit the folder later. I'm storing everything in this TGC. I have to store everything in that TGC. So the question says I should name it tgc.htm. Okay, then you save it now. All right, tgc.htm. What's the next thing? So this web page must work in all browsers, and we have a table structure as shown below. Now, if you want to see this one, you can see, according to this table, we are having. Now, as you can see from here, so let me quickly show you something here. So this table, we need to create a table like this. Of course, you're supposed to do it in HTML. If you are so confident, you know, just try to watch part 2 of this video. If you are so confident in HTML, you can do it in HTML. But this software is so good, it's so nice, that you don't actually need to write any code or whatsoever. You just drop and drag. Then the table will be, the HTML code will be generated automatically for you. But there is one thing you need to know first. This table is having how many rows? This is what we call a row. 1, 2, 3, 4. How do I know it's 4 rows? Because if you count, this is row number 1, this is row number 2, this is row number 3, this is row number 4. But actually this one, they join it together, they merge it. That's why it looks like this. But it's having 4 rows. But how many columns? 1, 2, 3. Which means in this table, actually that table is like this in the beginning. It's having only 3 columns. 1, 2. So if you count how many columns? 1, 2, 3. But how many rows? It's having 3 rows. 4 rows. 1, this is row number 1. 2, this is row number 2. Then 3 and 4. This row number 3 and this row number 4. You need to know so the difference between the column as well as the row before you can do this. All right. Now let's go back to the question. So we know that we are having 3 columns, 4 rows. 3 columns, 4 rows. So how do you create that here? Let me try to minimize this to save my time. So then you are going to do that. Just click on insert. Then you will see the table is even here directly. You see table here and you click on insert table. Then it's asking you how many rows. As I explained to you earlier, we are having 4 rows. Then how many columns? We are having 3 columns. Then just press OK. You see, it's created for you directly. So if you click on code, it actually generates HTML code for you automatically. So you don't need to learn this. It's a good thing to know, by the way, but if you don't know it, that's not too bad. You can still get your A star even if you don't know HTML here. All right. You see what I did? Just click on table, insert table, and you just type the number of rows, the number of columns, you press OK, and the table will be generated for you automatically. Now let's look at it. So the first one, the first row, everything is merged. They join it together, which means 1, 2, 3. Everything is merged. The first row is merged. Just highlight it, right click, then you will see something says modify, then you will see merge cells. You just merge it. Then what about this one? It's also merged together. Then you click on modify, then you merge it. Then what other thing they merge? I think that's all. They don't merge anything. Now let's look at the size. The size here of this cell is 750 by 100. Who can tell me? This 750 represents width and 100 represent height. Just pay attention to that. I think it's a good thing you're supposed to know. Whatever number they give you, the first one represents width and the second one represents height. So that's how it used to be. Always. The first one represents width, the second one represents height. So pay attention to that, okay? Now let's look for the first one. So just try to right click, and we are talking about the cell property now. Cell property. Now, what is the width according to the question? Uh, According to the question, the width is 750, 750, and the height is 100. Then you press OK. You see now. Why about this? B, 260, 470. 260, right click. Again, cell property. Then 260. Then this one is 470. 470. Press OK. Now, what about the G? 260, 225. 260, 225. It doesn't matter which one you do first. 260, then 225. 225. 225. 225. Then you press OK. Yeah, it looks like it. Good. Now, let's go back to C. C, you can actually highlight everything, you know. You can actually highlight everything since all of them, they have the same size. Right click. So then cell property, then you can do it together. 225 by 225. 225 by 225. Then you press OK. You see it works for everything since all of them are having the same size. So just to save your time. But if you want to do it one by one, of course, just do it one by one. Just click on the cell property, and you can write it 225 by 225. That's all. So then after that, each table cell is identified with a letter, and all dimensions are in pixel, and we have done all those things, right? We have done all this, and that's 11 marks. And the question says table borders must not appear on the final web page. Must not appear. Do you know what they mean? Actually, what they mean is here. So when you click on the table, just right click, you will see the table property here. And they said that we shouldn't do anything table border. You see, it is 0 here. At DB, they want us to do table border. If they say 2, then you put 2 there, and you press OK. Can you see now? You press OK. So, but since they don't see anything about table border, so let me just remove it. Table property, so this is 0. So the border size is 0. All right. Now that's 11 marks. You see, it's very easy to get 11 marks here. You don't need to learn coding or whatsoever. You just click on table and you do all the necessary things. Now let's go to question number 3 now. Enter in cell A the text Tawara Gaming Computers. So in cell A, the cell A, you put this one there. And you need to set this one to H1 according to the question. So just set it to H1. It looks like this. Now, number 2, and you see that one is 2 marks. Very easy. You just need to type, and make sure you type correctly, by the way. If you type your computer like this, you will not get mark for that. Or instead of gaming, you just type game. You will not get mark for it. Make sure you type correctly, because they have written it for you, by the way. You don't have any reason not to type it correctly here. Now, you set it to H1, so you have done that. Now, next one. Place in cell B the image. Place in cell B the image. This image, 2031 logo in cell B. This is cell B. So how do you place the image? Very easy. Just click on Insert. Then you will see Picture, and you can choose it from the folder. You can choose it from the folder. TGC, you remember this folder, and this is the okay, this one. This is the logo they are talking about. Then just insert it, and it's a good thing to do the alternate text. The alternate text means if this logo is not available, then the text will show. If this logo is not available, then the text will show, and you will get 1 mark for that if you do it. If you write logo here, okay. Now it looks like this. Now let's continue with the rest of the question. Then place in cell C the image proc, in cell E this image as well. So cell C, let's look, where is cell C? This one is cell C, this one is E. In cell C, let's go back to this one, this cell C. We need to put that image, you click on insert, then picture. Okay, this image, they ask you to put this one here. Just say proc image, press OK. Now, what other thing? We've done this. Now, in cell E, we need to put this image, and in cell H, we need to put this image as well. In cell C, cell E, so you click on insert, then picture this one. We need to put this one, this image. So you just call it board. All right. Oh, this is extremely bigger, very big. But maybe they are going to ask us to do something there. They are going to ask us to do something there. We can't just leave it like that. And cell H, this cell E and this cell H. In cell H, they want us to put this image. Now, let's go back to this one, this cell H, insert, then picture. Then you put this image. All right, then you just write the alternate. Okay, this one looks like this. Now, let's continue. The next question says, set this text to style H2. Oh, sorry, this one. Where necessary, in the HTML, make sure each image is displayed to, you see now, where necessary, which means I'm pretty sure they are talking about this because it's extremely big. Now, make sure that each image is displayed as 225 pixel wide. 225 pixel wide. Why you are maintaining the aspect ratio? Why you are maintaining the aspect ratio 225 wide? Now, in that case, what will come here? Just click here in HTML. You just click on code. You remember I showed you this one earlier. You just click on code. This is the second image. This image, you see, is extremely big. The remaining one, the 225, this one is also 225 by 225, but why this one is very, very big? So you can just edit it here straight away. But if you don't want to do that, another thing you can do is just click on this image, right click, you will see picture property. So then you can talk about the appearance here, and you can talk about the size of the image. They said that is 225. You see, because as you are changing this one is also changing automatically. That's what we call aspect ratio. You keep the aspect ratio. When you change one, another one will also change automatically. But if you don't keep the aspect ratio, if you write 500 here, you see nothing will change in the height. You have to write height on your own. But if you keep the aspect ratio, as you are changing the width, height will be changing. Or if you change the height, then width will be changing as well. That's what we call aspect ratio. Okay? Now, so this one is 225. 225. Then you press OK. You see, it's smaller than like just the remaining one. So let's continue now to the rest of the question. So for question number 6, this one says in cell D, where is cell D? Okay, this one is D, F, and I. So in cell D, you need to type this one, processor. Then we need to type motherboard, and we need to type water cooling system. So you just type this one. Then you type, let me just copy straight away from the question. So motherboard and water cooling system. Motherboard, I will write that one. And okay, let's go back. So just type motherboard. So then this one is water cooling system. I believe just only one. Oh, there is S here, motherboards. Now, then after we've done that, the question says we should do this. Set this text to H2. Everything we have done here, you need to set it to H2. Just click on it. Then you come here and you set it to H2. This one also, H2. and this one also, you set it to H2. Now, the next question here, the next question says, here, enter in cell G. Enter in cell G this text, last edited by, let me just copy it. Then after that, on a new line, enter your name, center number, and candidate number. Then set all the text in cell G to H3. The last one, which is cell G. Then on a new line, press enter on your keyboard. On a new line, you need to type your name, then center number, then candidate number. All right. Now, and the question says you need to set everything to H3. The question says you need to set everything to H3. All right. Then after you finish that, add, question A says add appropriate alternate text to all the image. You know, we have done that earlier, right? You remember? We have done alternate text. We have done that earlier. Now, question 9 says attach the style sheet. This style sheet, we need to attach it to the web page, and you save your web page. Now, how do we attach the style sheet? You just come here. Can you see this? Attach style sheet. Just click on it, browse, and this is style sheet they want us to do, and you just click on open, press OK, and it looks like this. So just save it. As the question says save it. So Control S, and you just save it like this. Now, what's the next thing? Now, this one says open the style sheet, this style sheet in a suitable software package, edit it to look like this. We need to edit it to look like this. If you could remember, I've actually taught you how to do style sheet. If you don't know how to do this, you can try to watch my video, the part 1 of this video as well as part 2. I talk about this already, but just to save my time, I will quickly do this very, very fast. Okay, but if you are having any trouble on this, you can try to watch part 1 and part 2 of this video. I taught you, I gave a lot of examples, almost 6 different style sheet questions. So in part 1 and part 2. All right, I will quickly do that now. Now, what I will do is, let me quickly go back to this. All right, then sample this one. This is the CSS they want us to edit. Let me just right click it. I right click on it, and I'm going to open it with this notepad. I'm going to open it with this notepad. Okay, so this is what they have inside. You see, there's nothing much. This is what they have inside. But let me try to minimize this. Let's go back to the question. This is the question as well. Let's say what they want us to do here. I'm going to start from the simplest one. I'm going to start from the simplest one, which is H3. The question says, for style H3, what do we need to do there? H3, you write H3, call bracket, you open it and close it. What we need to do here? So you need to set to 12 points high. That's font size. Anything they are talking about points, 12 points high, they are talking about the height of the H3 of the text. So that's the font size. So just take note of that. It's 12 pt, 12 points. If it is pixel, you write pixel, okay? 12 points. Semicolon. Then it is right align. That's text align. Text align. Whenever they are talking about alignment, then it's text align. There are a few things you need to memorize here. You just have to memorize. Okay, there are a few things you need to memorize here. So text align is right. Text align is right. There is no need to put a semicolon here. You know the reason? Because this is the last one. This is the last code. In the last one, there is no need of putting semicolon since we have call bracket here. Now, we finished H3 already. Let's talk about H2 now. H2 also the same thing. The idea is also the same. So let me just copy paste to save my time. Then I change this one to H2. They said that it's 14. The font size is 14 here. Then it is left align. The text align is left. Okay. Now H1. What do we need to do in H1 is just only one thing, 36 points. So H1, so I say this one is H1. Then you might be asking, why do I start? Because I start from the simplest, you know. So if you two, you see this one in your exam and you don't know all this, how do I do this? No, no, no. It's okay if you don't know how to do this, but you can actually start from the simplest. So if this one is 20 marks or is 24 marks, at least if you cannot get 24 out of 24, you can still get 20 out of 24, 15 out of 24. So that's not too bad. Okay. And the font size here for this is 36 pt. So we finish all these three. Now let's look at this. Style H1, H2, and H3, which means H1, H2, and H3. You need to write H1, comma, H2, comma, H3. So they are sharing the same property. What is that property? You tell me. One are green with no red, no blue, which means they are sharing the same color. So you just need to type color. You see the way I type? I don't spell my own color like this. So pay attention to that. Color. What happened to your color? You remember the RGB? RGB. We use RGB to specify which color comes first. Red comes first. So we are start with hashtag. Red comes first is 0 because the question says no red. Since it's no red, it means it is 0. Green follows. What is green here? The question says green is GG. Then no blue is 00. If you haven't watched, try to watch the part 1 of this video. I actually explain a lot about this. So I wouldn't like to repeat this again. Then after that, and have the fonts, which means the font family, semicolon. So font family. What is the font family now? This is the font family. So let me just copy. Font family is this. And I told you last time, since you're having two different words, so you have to put it in the column. In the quote. All right, you put in the quote, comma. If this one is not available, then you are going to have Verdana. Then if this one is not available, then you are going to have sans serif. So that would be sans, then serif. This is how we write sans serif. Don't write like this, it will never work. Okay, normally when we say sans serif, you need to put dash in between. Yeah, that's all what you need to do here. Okay, now let's go back to this one. This one says the background. I told you whenever they are talking about background, they are talking about the body. Okay, body. So what is the body now? The background. Is it the background color or background image? Which one are they talking about here? Look at this question. It's talking about the image. So which means this one will be background image. Then URL. So what is that background image? You need to type it. Let me just copy it from here. Then you put it here in the quotes. Don't forget. You put it in the quotes. Done. This then no, we didn't finish here because the question says it's set to repeat to fill the browser. It's set to repeat to fill the browser, which means background repeat, background repeat. Then what is it? Then it is repeat, because the question says it is repeat. Now the next thing we need to do here is for the table. As you can see from the table here, as you can see from the question, so the question is already doing something on the table, right? It's already doing something on the table. We just need to complete it. So then how do we complete this? Now let's extend what it has. So let me just make this one clear. Let's extend what it has. Okay. Now for the table, the first question says all table borders. They are talking about the border here, and they are talking about table have a width of 0. Have a width of 0. So then how do we do that? It means the border width border width, because they are talking about the border and they are talking about width, is 0 pixel, 0 pixel, 0 pixel, comma, semicolon, sorry. Then that's how to do this. And grid lines are separate. Grid lines are separate. Grid lines are separate. So how do we do this if we want to say grid lines are separate? So here is border collapse. So it just needs to memorize some few things here. Whenever they are talking about separate, grid line, it means it's border collapse. Then it is separate. Okay, it is separate. Now the next thing you need to do, all cell spacing, which means border spacing. Border spacing. What happened to it? Within the table is set to 20 pixel. Is 20 pixel. Then the next thing, the background color. Background, mind your spelling, okay? Background color, what is it? Of the table is black, and when we say something is black, it means everything is 0. 0, 0, 0, 0, RGB. R is 0, G is 0, and B is also 0. 6 zeros. Then after that, they say that all tables are center aligned in the browser. Whenever you see something like this, it means they are talking about margin. That's margin right. Margin right. Margin right is auto, is automatic. Then margin left is also auto. Margin left is also auto. The last thing we need to do here, I think that's almost finished for the table, because what we are going to do here, there is no cell padding. That's just about TD. So I don't want to spend much time on this because I don't want this video to be very long. It's around 40 minutes already. So that's why I didn't take much time to explain this, but try to watch part 1 of this video and part 2 of this web authoring video. I explained this in details. Alright, then there is no cell padding. You just need to say padding, then is 0. Padding is 0 pixel. Alright, then we finished the CSS already. We finished, and you can claim your 24 marks. No, before that, the question says add your name, center number, and country number as a comment. How do we do comment? You just come to the end here, the last one, and we do comment like this. Then slash star, then your name, center number, then your country number, then star again and slash. You put it there. So that's 1 mark. That's 1 mark. Then you save this one. How do we save it? You save it in your TGC folder. Then you take a screenshot of the content. You take a screenshot of this. So how do you take a screenshot? I think this one is quite small. Let me just reduce the font. You click on format. Let me reduce the font to something like maybe 12. Okay. Then you take a screenshot of this. Just take a screenshot. In my own case, I'm taking a screenshot of my CSS, and of course you need to put it in your evidence file. You need to put it in your according to the question, that one will be evidence 2, right? That's evidence 2. So evidence 2, just double click, you write evidence 2. So if you don't do this, this is very dangerous. It means you are playing around with your 24 marks. Because how examiner want to know you have done this? How examiner want to know you have done this? You need to do it in evidence file, compulsory. So make sure you don't play around with your evidence document. It's very, very important. Then we need to save this one. So we save it in the same folder. .css. Don't forget, you save it as .css. Then it's already a C. Just say yes. Now the next question says display the web page in your browser. If necessary, resize it so that all page can be seen, then all text can be easily read. So we need to show this one and we need to attach it. But before we do it, we need to attach this text file first. We need to attach it again. Attach the style sheet. Let's attach the style sheet. So this is style sheet, the new one we just did, right? So we need to attach it. Then you press OK. then you press OK. But I don't see any changes here. Perhaps maybe what I need to do, let me just um, let me click on save first, then let me close this one, then web author, let me open it again, Microsoft. Because normally I'm supposed to see the changes. Then where is it? The previous one. Okay, let me just open it. TGC folder, and this is the one we are working on. Open it. Okay, now you see it works now. You remember they say what's it called? The background is black. Yeah, it's black, and I believe you can see this one also. Now the question say we're supposed to show this one in the browser. So if you also face the same issue, just try to save your work before you close it. Try to save it first so that you don't lose anything. Try to save your work, then you close this Microsoft Expression, then you can now open it back. Now, what we do here, just click on File, and you see Preview in Browser. Which browser am I going to use? Let me use this Google Chrome browser. You preview in browser. So this is how it looks like in the browser. It doesn't look nice, by the way. All the text we have here, we couldn't see anything. All the text we have here, we couldn't see anything. Oh, I think maybe what happened is that I make a very silly mistake, you know. This is supposed to be FF, Ya Rabbi. This is supposed to be FF, not GG. We never have anything like, sorry, I'm very sorry for that. So this is supposed to be FF, please. FF. So that's why it doesn't work. That's why it doesn't work. So let me save it again, save. Then I have to attach the file again. So just come here, browse this DeFi. Let me attach it again, press OK. But still I don't see any changes here, but let me save it. And let me close this one and try to open it again. Microsoft Expression. Microsoft Expression, then open the file. Yeah, this is the file, open it. Okay, we see, because they said that it's going to be color green, right? If you remember, it's going to be color green, so everything looks nice now. So let me view it in the browser, as they said earlier, in Google Chrome. Yeah, this is how it looks like now. This is how it looks like. But I cannot take the screenshot here. I need to reduce the size. Just Control and minus on your keyboard so that it can show everything. Then after that, you need to show the screenshot of this. Just screenshot this one and you put it in your evidence file. And according to the question, that would be placed in your evidence document screenshot showing the web page in your browser. That would be evidence tree. So that would be evidence tree, then you have to put this one there. So it's compulsory you do that, don't forget. Now I think we still need to do one evidence 4. Now in evidence 4, what do we need to do here? Let's go back to the equation. The equation in evidence 4, display the HTML source in your editor. So let's go back to this. This is the editor. We are asked to display the HTML. So there are a few ways of doing this. You can just screenshot this one straight away. Then perhaps you can try to reduce the size if possible. So, but if not possible, you can just copy paste everything here. You can just copy paste everything. So then you come to your evidence 4 and you paste it there. You come to your evidence 4, you paste it there. And if it is possible, so if the HTML you are doing is not so much, so then you can just screenshot as well. If you screenshot, it works. if you screenshot, it's also possible. For example, so the text, let me just reduce the size here. Let's say smaller. Okay, everything here. Let's make it smaller. Is it possible? So I don't think that's possible. But whatever, if there is any way of doing zoom, or you can zoom out, or no, that's not. You can just screenshot this if possible. I think being everything shows. Let's say everything shows here, you can just screenshot and you put it in your evidence file. But if you're unable to do that, then it's okay. Just copy paste of that HTML and you put it here. Okay, and if you screenshot also, that also counts. If you screenshot also, that's also counts. Now, the last part of this question, yeah, so you claim, that's all. Then you claim your, and you make sure that you print your evidence file. This is very, very important. Then you need to print your evidence file and you submit it to your examiner. So I will not be able to do another example of web authoring in this video because this is very long already. Then I'm going to make another video for web authoring. I will call that one part 4. Then if that one is very long as well, I will make another one. I will call it part 5. I actually want to show you 3 different questions in web authoring, so that if you know how to do it and you also practice it on your own, then you will have much more confidence to answer any question related to web authoring. All right, so make sure you subscribe to this channel to support. So, and see you in part 4 of this video. So thank you for watching. Bye.